Well, hello, a very good afternoon to you. How are you? Welcome to Hochanda. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rachel. This is our fabulous, brand new, lovely guest, Adaku. Hello, my lovely. And don't adjust your screen because look at the colour. It is all, as you see, it's the most amazing colour that you've brought us here today. It's I've never seen fabric like this. It's fabulous. And of course, you are a brand new supplier, a lovely company. It's your company, Dovetailed London. Yes. So it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
How did you get here?
So I was on maternity leave back in about 2017, and I was just thinking about something else that I could do other than being a barrister, because I'd been a barrister for a few years. Yeah. And so I'd seen an advert for textile classes, evening classes in textiles at my sort of local adult learning centre. And so I signed up, and you know, I completely fell in love with sewing. I bought a lovely machine, and yeah, really took it from there. Well,
it's amazing, and we've had a little chat before the show, Adaku and I, so I knew all of that. But the fact that you are a barrister, a mum of three, you've written books, you've got these lovely fabrics.
I have a book.
Oh, yeah, a book coming out
in the summer.
But that's just my future prediction for you. You've been writing more books. We know it because you're incredible. And then you've got these lovely fabrics and the patterns. I mean, my goodness me, it's just what a success story. So it's amazing to have you here.
Thank you so much.
We're very lucky, so thank you. Should we have a talk about your lovely items then?
Let's do.
So, can we just talk about this fabric first of all? 2 yards of fabric that you get in each of these individual items. Let's just talk about this fabric and what makes it so different. I mean, you can see I'm wearing it.
Sure.
That's not what makes it different, but you can see how wearable it is.
Yes.
It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful fabric. By the way, the top is available in the pattern, isn't it? Yes, we've got the pattern on the show.
This is the Priscilla top that you're wearing.
But it feels lovely. So it is a cotton.
It's 100% cotton. They're all 100% cotton. They are printed using the wax resist method of printing onto cotton, very similar to batik.
Yeah.
So it all goes by the name of African wax print fabrics. Reason being that many of them still have the original sort of African designs, motifs, going back many, many years, in fact.
Yeah, I have to say, and this is why I think I would really urge you to give it a go, and I'm glad that I'm wearing this top, because I think if you looked at this on this shelf and you didn't see it on the top that I'm wearing, you might look at that and go, that is not a wearable fabric. None of these, they're all too big, they're too bold. Yep. But I think when you see them made up, like in the dress you're wearing, the Meghan dress, which is on the show, in the top that I'm wearing, actually you just look and go, that's just going to bring a smile to your face as soon as you put it on every day. We should all be wearing more colour. You know, let's stop wandering around in black. But, you know, it's so lovely to wear. It feels great, but it looks great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would treat them as you would any medium weight cotton.
Yes.
So pre-wash and press before cutting and sewing, just to soften the fabrics up a little bit. But they are all colour fast. In fact, when preparing for this show, I'm pretty sure I put about 6 of them in the machine at the same time to pre-wash.
Wow!
And
they didn't run?
Absolutely fine.
Amazing, amazing. Well, we've got 5 options for you. Let's go through them. We'll start with this one at the end. Now, this is the one that you are wearing, isn't it, Adaku? And this is called the Teardrops on Red.
Yes.
Okay, Teardrops on Red, that's that one. I have to say the next one is one of my favourites. Absolutely love that one, and it's called Rabina Leaves. I mean, that's just that yellow and red is. I mean, imagine that in a top or in a dress. It would look amazing. The next one is Sparkles and Stripes. Yep, so you can see that one. It's almost like a firework sky, isn't it? Really, but that's absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
You've also got this one as well, Snowdrops on Purple. I think that's going to be a very popular one myself.
Beautiful.
And then you've got this one. This is your Netting on Blue, which of course is the one that I'm wearing.
Yes.
Shall we open one out? Yes, because then we can actually see how much fabric we get. And we are now starting to get busy. I think people are getting the idea and getting brave, so good for you. Because, you know, like I say at first, I think people would look at this and be a bit frightened of it.
Sure.
But look at that.
This is 2 yards.
It's got a lovely kind of sheen. This is the wax thing then.
Yes.
It's got a sheen to it.
I mean, this is the finish. When you've washed and pressed, this finish sort of comes away.
Yes.
But you are left with, as you can see, just a very lovely medium weight cotton.
Yeah.
It's actually printed on both sides of the fabric.
Yes.
And that really adds to the richness and the vibrancy and really the depth of colour that you see.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. So out of this then, Adaka, you could easily make, could you make the Meghan out of this?
No.
No.
For the Meghan, you would need 4 yards.
Okay.
They're sold by the yard. The width is 47 inches or about 120 centimetres. So they're on the narrower side of things.
Yes.
So, but the 2 yards is fine for the skirt, the Althea skirt and the Priscilla top.
Yes, perfect. So could I make a top and a skirt out of this one? Or would I have to get 2?
You'd have to get 2.
You see, I'd be buying 2. I'd just be buying, because I'd want a skirt and a top now.
Sure.
And what I'd do is I'd put a really big belt in the middle.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. I'm hinting heavily at a darker. I'd like a skirt making.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Right, okay, that's that one then. Yes. Sorry, I'm going to scratch you there. So that is your first set. Sorry, this is not going to be very neat. Hang on. Oh. I'll just move along. So a magic fairy will come along. Right, okay. So are we moving on to this one now? Yes. Okay. This is the pink butterfly. I think we should just open this up straight away because we can see once again how much we get. It's 2 yards again.
2 yards
once again, when you open it, you will see. Now, what is the difference of this one? Because there is a price difference and it does feel different. So
yes. So with the fabrics that are slightly more expensive.
Yeah.
The quality of the cotton is what differentiates the prices.
Yes.
So with the better value cottons, you have less drape, if you like, than you have with the more expensive ones.
Yes, yeah. But it's still lovely.
But they're still
feels
100% cotton.
Nice, yeah. People were actually buying this one before the hour. We're nearly a quarter of this stock gone already.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
No, it's great. I think a few of them people were already buying before
the hour, which is brilliant. Now, in terms of us talking about tops and skirts, what else could we make out of this fabric?
So this fabric is perfect for quilting.
Right.
Upholstery.
Lovely.
Patchwork.
Yeah.
Bag making.
Yeah, because I didn't know if we could make those sorts of things out of here, so we absolutely can.
Oh yes.
Wow, that would look amazing on a quilt, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, lovely. Well, that is that one. That's 974 sorry, 947174 if you'd like to get hold of that one. Now, let's move on to the 5 yards. Just to point out as well, you can't get these in the smaller cuts, can you? No. And you can't get those in the bigger cuts.
No.
No. So it is just these two in 5 yards, and you choose one or the other. And these are absolutely huge. I'm going to open it up again. And this print, it's to die for.
It's pretty
turquoise
lovely.
flower garden.
Turquoise flower garden.
Yeah. Does it matter which way it goes? Oh my goodness me.
So
it goes, is it
this way? Yep, perfect.
Our poor director's going, what? I've got to press the button again to open up the camera. There we are, look.
That's lovely.
Wow, wow. I'm nearly out of the studio. That is, can we just hold that as high as we can, Adaku? That is absolutely stunning. Come on, pull it out. That's like, look at that. Wow. I mean, those flowers as a statement piece on there. That's amazing.
Gorgeous.
Well done to you for finding this beautiful fabric. It's gorgeous.
It's stunning.
So if you would like that piece of fabric, it is £37.49, 809287. The other option as well is the fireworks, which we'll show you in a second.
Yes.
Let's just come in with this one then, if we can.
Yep.
Wow, that is amazing. So once again, now, can we dressmake with this again?
Oh, yes.
Dressmake, quilt, patchwork, make bags.
Yes.
Maybe you could make curtains.
Yes, curtains.
A blind.
Cushions.
You know, lovely rose in the middle of a blind.
Scatter cushions, yep.
Wow, amazing.
Tablecloths.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting carried away there. I'm just going, yeah. My brain is working overtime. Let's have a look at this one because I just want people to see the pattern on this one as well.
Sure.
Which way? Is it that way?
This is fine.
Yeah.
Is that? Nope, the other way.
Other way. Oh, along. So what other side? Oh, the other way, that way.
There you go.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So Sia would be happy with this one because she likes to swing from the chandelier. Look at that. These are astounding. said the Gruffalo.
This design actually dates back to the 1950s.
Okay.
So there are many fabrics that are actually a sort of a nod to certain mod cons.
Yes.
So at times when certain items were being bought by, say, the middle classes in Africa, and it's sort of a status symbol, you'll then get the repeat on a fabric. So, for example, irons, mobile phones, computers.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm flabbergasted. Is anybody else in the studio flabbergasted? I know our lovely Paola over there is. I mean, you bought this one. Yeah. Isn't that, Leonie loves this one. It's just, I've never seen anything like it. It's like when I first went to see the, what's that big picture in Madrid, the Guernica. You know when you're standing in front of the Guernica and you go, wow, that's an amazing piece of art. That's how I feel. I need to walk back into the camera now, it's so big. Oh, look, I haven't folded it or anything. No, it's just like, let's just start making with it. Okay, so that is all of the fabrics that we've got on the show. They are absolutely, sorry, it's not very pretty. They are tremendous. If you want to get hold of that one, that is £37.49. That's 809287 as an item number. Come with me, my darling. Let's have a look at these patterns now.
Sure.
So here, there are no fabrics. You just buy your patterns, and these are all obviously individual options. So we've got the Megan, which is the dress that you're wearing,
yes,
Adaku. So that's. Should we just have a? Can she come out to the side? A little model. I do love it. There's pockets and everything. I mean, what an amazing dress to wear. You walk in, I mean, I said to you when I walked in, you looked fantastic. You. No, but you just walk in and go,
no, I really enjoyed making this one, I have to say.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, with the pockets, it's handy for people who are sewing. I mean, it's lovely to wear just in your sewing room. But I have to say, if you walked into a room, I'd be following you across the room going, she got it. She got it good. It is fabulous. It's beautiful. I love. So that is the dress, and the details are there, 599201. I shall now come out for you. I've actually tucked mine up a little bit, but if I just show you that, I'll give you a little spin.
Very nice.
So this one is the Priscilla. So obviously it goes, you can see it's got that little curve on there with the edging, but what I did was I just did that and a little tuck in like that, so you can do it how you want. But I'm thinking actually, if you wore it and you could put a lovely belt, or if you did it with the skirt, you could make it like a dress if you put the belt on. Love the neckline, and the little sleeve isn't interesting. Is that a technical term for this sleeve? Because it feels like it should be called a flute sleeve or something. I don't know.
Just a one-piece sleeve, effectively, because the bodice and the sleeve are one piece.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but it's very nice. It's a very flattering top. very, very good for summer, our lovely director is saying. Lets a lot of air in, he says. Yes, very good. But it's beautiful. Look at that fabric. So the top is what you're buying, the pattern for the top, and that is 599201. And then we have the skirt.
Yes.
Which is over there, isn't it? And it's a really lovely, lovely skirt. So if you'd like to be able to make that skirt, there are the details on your screen, 599201, and it's the A-line skirt. And the sizes are from 8 to 18. It's an A-line skirt, obviously, in that beautiful fabric that we showed you at the top of the show. So some very wearable items.
Yes, and
for all different sizes. That's what you were going to say, weren't you?
No, just very easy to sew with.
Which is good. Yeah, which is good. So easy to sew, easy to work with. Easy to wear, actually. It's just colour. That's all you just need to do is bring that colour into your wardrobe. Fabulous. Okay, have a look on the website for all of your options because things are flying out of the door. You are loving what we have on the show. It is hochanda.com and you can find everything there. But already people have been buying before the show, and the fabric that was very popular was the pink butterflies, and that's flying, see what we did there with the butterflies, this hour as well. So hochanda.com if you want to get in on the party. Of course, you can pick up the phone and give us a call as well. It's totally up to you. Remember, if you spend over £60 in your shopping basket as well, make sure you use that FlexiPay option so you can divide that cost as well. So do have a look at everything there. Right, demonstration time then, my lovely. So what are you going to make for us?
Well, I just wanted to say that the Megan and the Priscilla are in sizes 8 to 26.
Right. Did we say, did we not put 26?
The skirt was 8 to 18,
yes,
which is what you said.
But the other top's up to 26.
Up to 26.
That's good to know, good to know, yeah. Lovely, okay. So
I'm going to be demoing to start with the skirt just to show how the inseam pockets are attached. So I've already attached one inseam pocket here, and I'm going to attach the second. So here are the two pieces of the pocket.
Yeah.
I've already overlocked one edge of the seam, the other side of the seam, and I'm now going to overlock the second.
And by the way, of the fabrics that we showed you at the top of the show, this was one of them. This is the most popular fabric out of all of those choices, so people are loving it. It's because you're wearing it, you just look fabulous. I mean, it's just that explosion of colour, isn't it? It's amazing.
I'm afraid it's going to be a bit loud, sorry.
Don't worry, we can cope. Whoa! People think they're on an aircraft at home.
Overlockers.
I'm not even attempting to speak.
So now we'll be ready to sew that seam.
Yeah.
And I will, sorry, I'll try and swap them so I get out my sewing machine.
Shall I move this one out of the way?
Yes.
Like
Are you okay? Is that okay?
Yep,
okay.
that's fine. And do you need this one again?
Possibly,
you can
but
plug it back in, can't
we can
you?
plug it back in.
So if I just take... Okay, I'll just leave that like that. It's fine.
Okay.
Just hide the wire. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, there we go.
So now, what we will do, we'll cut away our loose thread. There.
So had you literally not sewn before?
No.
Honestly, you'd not sewn before, and you just thought, I'm just going to...
Yes, I'm
just going to give it a go.
Yes, I'll give it a go and see if I like it. Because I'd seen the sewing bee. I'd seen Charlotte Newland on the sewing bee.
Yes.
I think that was the last one before they stopped for a while.
Yes.
And I didn't really understand what was going on, but I was intrigued. You know, when you don't sew, you think, what are they talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
But I was intrigued enough to think, well, okay. So then when a month or so later, I saw this advert for the classes, I thought, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let me give it a go. So there'll be notches on both side seams, and there are also notches on the pocket that will show you where they line up.
Yeah.
So I'll just line those up now.
I work with Charlotte Newland.
Work with? Or
well, she teaches courses for me.
Oh, she's lovely, isn't
so
she?
She's a fabulous person. She's very, very funny. Yeah, she's very funny. We've had some lovely long conversations. So how long was it before you made your first dress? So you obviously, did you just buy some fabric and started playing
Well, no, because I'd always worn these fabrics, parties and sort of family events. So when it came to sewing and the tutor would say, well, bring a fabric for your project, I was always bringing these.
Yes.
And I think there was a look of horror, sort of,
what can
patterns.
we do with those? Yeah, yeah.
Don't bring patterns, don't bring prints.
Yeah.
I think they much prefer you just to bring a solid colour, especially when you're starting. And so then when I started making things like bags, they were always in these fabrics, and it just carried on from there.
From there, yeah, incredible.
So what I've done is I've lined up at the notches, I've lined up the raw edge of the pocket, this pocket piece, with the raw edge of the side seam.
Okay.
And then you will do the same with the other pocket. And these are put together right side to right side.
Yeah. And in the patterns, I mean, what are the instructions like in here?
Sure. So the patterns will include a full-size multicoloured pattern.
Yes.
The best thing to do is to trace it out first rather than trying to sort of cut into that. You know, it'd be nice just to leave that in good condition.
Yeah.
But to trace out that in your size.
Yes.
It also includes instructions, an A5 instruction booklet.
Yeah. Yes, the little booklets here, look.
The little booklets there.
Yeah, so I'll just show you that. Yeah, there you are. So nice instructions in there as well. So do you think then that people could actually do this if they were beginners?
These are perfect for beginners. These are really perfect for beginners.
Yeah.
They're good for beginners if you're new to sewing. They're also good if you're new to working with these fabrics, or both.
Yes.
They are, you know, I specifically kept the pattern simple so that you could make as much of the fabric as possible, so that the fabrics can really sing and that you're not sort of cutting into them too much.
Well, can I give out my own little bit of experience in this as well as to how easy they are? So basically, I run courses, and I ran a course recently that was for dressmakers and quilters. Now, it was mostly quilters, and the afternoon project was a dressmaking project, and Heather Jacks, who is one of the ladies who teaches for me, who was also a Sewing Bee winner, she decided to bring in fabrics like this, and at first the ladies were like, whoa, what do we do with those? And then she made them or taught them to design their own top and make it. And I will tell you that at the end of that afternoon, it was a 3-hour class, and they were all terrified at the beginning, and they all were quilters, not dressmakers. And at the end, they all had a top.
Amazing.
And it worked, and they all, you know, loved it. So I've seen it, I've witnessed it, that these fabrics are actually quite easy to work with, which is what Heather was saying, because of, you know, the way they are made and the fabrics. But also the top as well is actually quite simple. So I agree with you. I've seen it firsthand that you could start, definitely.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So what I'm doing, just to attach each pocket piece to each side of the skirt at one side seam, is I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I've started roughly an inch or so before the pocket, and I will stop about that distance from the bottom of the pocket.
Yes. I love this pop of yellow and red. Yeah, and it's okay to pin. I mean, even though we've got this kind of wax thing going on, it's fine to pin. Brilliant. Yeah, you can see how easily it's going through though. I think in a way as well, it strikes me this fabric, I mean, I might be wrong, but it strikes me that it would actually be easier to work with than a lot of other fabrics that were perhaps a little bit silky or flimsy, because, you know, they're quite difficult, because you've got to be really precise, because if you get a bit of gathering in something that's silky, you've had it. Whereas with this, I would think, is a bit more forgiving.
It's a very forgiving, I was about to use that word, it's very forgiving fabric, you know, just a quick press, and I like to say a quick press and all is forgiven.
Yes,
literally. And yes, certain fabrics, you know, if you have to unpick, it will never let you forget, will it, that you unpicked at that particular point.
Yes.
And I'll do the same with the other side.
Okay. I've got a question for you as well. Where did the name for your company come from? I'm always intrigued by names. Dovetailed.
So it's the technique of laying fabric when it doesn't have a nap or a direction or a nape or anything. You can dovetail the fabric. You can literally, rather than having to follow the direction of any fabric, you can effectively lay them like this. I'm trying to get my, like this.
Yes.
For a more economical lay.
Okay.
And that's dovetailing. So that's where the name came from.
Brilliant. And how old is your company now?
Okay, so I started the company roughly in about 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Around then.
Yeah. Fabulous. And on TV already. Amazing.
You said that you were saying when we were doing the Facebook video that you've been here, I can't remember how long you said.
Yeah, I've only been here. No, it's not been 5 years. Does it feel like 5 years? No, for me, when did I join? January. Yes, it was January.
Yes.
I discussed it in December and then was invited in January. So
Okay.
it's been, but I do feel part of the team and feel very at home there. I was just saying to Paola today, actually, who I've got a lovely show coming up with, that it's so nice here and people are so lovely and warm and genuine and friendly.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, and I get to work with lots of lovely and different new guests.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. So let me try and show this. So you have attached one bit of the pocket, one side half of the pocket.
Yes.
And here you have your other half of the pocket. And you'll bring them together like so. And you can see the bag coming together.
Yes. Yeah.
And if I start at the top of the seam, I'll pin, use my bigger pins.
Yeah. Do we need an overlocker, by the way? Because obviously you did start with overlocking.
Yes, it's just to neaten the raw edge of the seam.
I think you can actually replicate overlocking kind
of course,
with
you
your
can
sewing
use
machine,
your
can't
over edge
you?
stitch.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, you don't. Yes, to answer the question, you don't need an overlocker, but it is worth neatening the raw edge because when I've been sewing in a hurry, I haven't. And years later, fabric's fine, but the raw edge does then begin to fray. It's not so bad because the fabric is quite structured, but if you can, then do. Okay. So then what you will do when you're sewing, I'll just put a few more pins in and then just explain how you will sew this.
I think you're inspiring our director.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Webster.
Good.
He's just said he wouldn't mind trying to make a child's dress.
Oh, yes.
I don't think he wants to start on a big dress. Just a child. Or maybe that was a doll's dress.
Doll's dress.
And he doesn't have any children, strangely, but he wants to. Yeah, maybe it's make one for Paola because she's tiny. She's tiny.
So the way you would stitch this is you would start here using a 1 centimetre seam allowance.
Yes.
Stitch all the way to here. Needle down, pivot, and then continue across the top of the bag here.
Yeah.
Down the side of the bag here, around the curve. Again, needle down here. Here.
Yes.
Pivot again, and then all the way down to the end of the skirt.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll quickly do that now. But and you would just do that on both sides, and there are your pockets in.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, we are going to just have a little recap of what we've got on the show for you. So basically, as we were saying, we've got these amazing, amazing fabrics, and we've also got the patterns as well. So 3 options. You've got your beautiful skirt that we mentioned first of all, and that's an A-line skirt. And that is size 8 to 18, £17.99. That's 599,201. That's called the Priscilla. And that is 8 to 26, yeah. And then we've also got the Megan tunic as well, and that of course is the dress that Adako is wearing today, and that's 8 to 26 as well. So 599,201, that's your item number. But let's have a look at these absolutely beautiful fabrics. They are amazing. I mean, if you look at the sort of pop of colour that I'm wearing, and I have to say, if you showed me this fabric and said, right, we'll make a top out of this, I would have gone, ooh, I'm not so sure that's going to work. But actually, when you pop it on, both the girls, Paola and Leonie, were in the dressing room and both went, wow, that looks amazing on your skin. It's like and I came in wearing red and they didn't have that effect. So it is fantastic to have this wonderful colour. So I would say just give it a go, experiment. I mean, if we just hold up some different colours for you, look. So for example, you've got this one. So if you imagine that, I mean, that's actually a very pretty print, I think. That could be a really pretty top. So that's that one. That's the Snowdrops on purple. And then let's have a look at the next one. And this is your sparkles and stripes. So I suppose it depends how you work with that fabric. Adaka, would you have to have the pattern that way, or you could have it that way?
Either.
Either way. So you can decide whether you want the stripe to go that way or whether you want the stripe to go that way. But that's a very interesting fabric as well. Remember, as Adaka was saying, you can quilt with these, you can patchwork, you can also, you know, make bags if you want to. It's not just dressmaking. This, you see, this is the one I would go for, I think, if I was shopping, because it's got the red, and this has got that wonderful, I mean, look at that. That's almost, yes, there is a Spanish vibe. There is definitely a Spanish vibe going on there. We should ask Paola that. She would know if there's a Spanish vibe. But that is beautiful, isn't it? Love that colour. Absolutely love that. So as a top, if you imagine that, yeah. Yeah, look. Oh, hang on. Try not to hurt my microphone there. But if you imagine that as a top, that would be absolutely beautiful, wouldn't it? Yeah, so you see, you've got to just use your imagination. And then we've got this wonderful fabric that, of course, Adaku is wearing today. This is well in the lead, 40% gone. I'm not surprised, because when you see it in that Meghan dress, it looks amazing. But look at that. It's that colour. It's that amber and that red and that pattern. I mean, it looks incredibly expensive, I think. It's called Teardrops on Red, but it looks incredibly expensive. That is fab. I could see our Leona dressing in a dress out of that, actually. I could. It's very much, that's like her. Very vibrant. I want it. Do you want it? Leonie, come in, come in. Leonie, come in. She's not mic'd up. She's not mic'd up, she can stand close.
Not mic'd up.
Oh, I just want to put it against you as like a little dress.
Right.
Do you imagine?
Yes.
You see?
Isn't that beautiful?
Just step to the side so we can see you full length, full length. Look at that.
See, wouldn't that be marvellous?
I think you would look amazing in that, Leonie.
Isn't that fabulous?
It's fabulous. Can't hear her, but she's saying it's fabulous.
Paola has bought the skirt, hasn't she?
Yes.
She's already got it.
Yeah.
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
Right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Kev.
See you, Kev.
See you, Kev. See you, Kev.
I could see Leonie in that dress. I really could. She looks amazing. So it's up to you which fabric you're going to go for. 789116 is your item number, and then you just choose from Teardrops on Red, Rabina Leaves, Sparkles and Stripes rather, Snowdrops on Purple, and Netting on Blue. Lovely. Okay, so should we move on to the pink butterflies? There you are. So pink butterflies. Ooh, this is lovely. Now, a slightly different fabric, because as you will notice, the price has gone down. So it's about the cotton. This is 100% cotton. So I presume this is slightly less than, is this? It's still 100%, but it's just the way the cotton is put together.
So you have a finer grade of cotton. You've obviously got cottons that are £35 a metre, £40 a metre. So it's just how fine, how drapey.
How drapey, how fine it is. I see. I'm learning. I love our guests like this. I'm learning. So look, if you want to be able to get hold of this wonderful fabric, that's absolutely beautiful as well. 70% of that stock has gone. It's been very popular, this one, probably because of those lovely pink butterflies there on that blue. Just those colours are just working together. 947174 is your item number if you would like to get hold of that one. And then we've got the 5-yard fabric. I don't think I can hold this one myself because it is huge, but I do want to show you that. If I can just show you one of these prints. Let me just hold it up there, and then you can see, look at that. Look at that flower. Now, this is the most popular option at the moment in the 5 yards. You are absolutely loving that. But imagine that on a blind, or as we were saying, quilt or cushions or whatever. I mean, whatever your imagination, where it takes you really. It is absolutely gorgeous. Maybe some kind of duvet cover, or I tell you what would look nice. You know when you go to hotels and they have that strip along the bed, don't they? That bottom bit. Yes, you could have that as a kind of throw on the bed. Lovely. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. So that is 3749 809 287. We are talking about exceptional quality fabrics. We are talking about beautiful patterns and pops of colour. No, it's not very folded very nicely. This one based on that 50s print that Adaka was talking about there with the chandeliers. There you are, look, there you are. And this is repeated all along the way. And I forget, is this double-sided? Is this the same on both sides as well?
They're all printed on both sides.
Yeah, they're all printed on both sides, which gives it that depth of colour. But it's that royal blue with that perfect red. And then the other kind of silvery colour running through it there. I mean, absolutely stunning. So again, 809287. You just have to decide which one you would like. Then we've got the patterns, of course. You don't have to buy the fabrics, you can just buy the patterns, and you can make these tops out of the fabrics that you desire. If you want to use the fabrics we're using, amazing, but if you want to use your own fabric, then you absolutely can. So you've got your skirt, you've got your lovely top, and you've got your Meghan dress. And all neck and neck in popularity. 599201 is your item number, £17.99 for whichever one of those you are going to go. Are they all £17.99? Yes, they are. All £17.99, but they're options and slightly different sizes. The biggest size is in the top and the dress, up to 26 in those. But yes, look at this one. It's just lovely when it's in that fabric as well. So I would suggest that you go to the website, have a look. I think you could easily spend £60 or more on this show. And if you do spend £60, of course, you could use your FlexiPay option. So you can divide that cost as well, which is lovely. So do have a look there, hochanda.com. If you just want to give us a call and say, I want that fabric, and describe, if you want to describe what it is, if you can't remember numbers, just say, you know, it's the one with the yellow and the red, like teardrops. And then they'll be able to work it out for you. I want the chandelier. I want the one with the purple butterfly, pink butterflies. And that's all you have to do. So pick up the phone, give us a call, or go onto the website, which of course is hochanda.com. Perfect. We're going to come back now and carry on our dress that Adaka was making for us.
Yes, so the skirt, once you have put the pockets on,
yes,
you will then make up your waistband.
Yes.
So the waistband is integrated. Once you've made the waistband, you'll then thread through the elastic. All the instructions are in the booklet. The threading through of the elastic will create the gather that you see on the skirt over there. And then once you've done that, you hem and your skirt is finished.
Easy.
So what I want to do, what I'd like to do now is move on to the top.
Yes.
And show your viewers how to attach bias binding.
Okay.
You've got some lovely binding on your top. I have some binding on my top. I think it works really well.
It just
with
sets
these
it off,
fabrics.
doesn't
It
it?
really
Yeah,
sets
it
it
does
off, as
set
you
it off.
say.
Yeah.
So
I could imagine as well with these tops, you could just wear the most amazing jewellery. So you could have, right round your neck here, you could have a really big piece of like green jewellery or blue or something like big, you know, big beads.
Yes,
that would look
nice.
amazing. Or
It
maybe a big
would.
bit of amber.
Oh yeah.
Or a nice amber stone.
Yes.
Nice.
Very nice. So when attaching the binding, I like to start by just folding the binding to the wrong side of the binding using a sort of 1 centimetre fold. And then I line up that fold with the seam allowance on the top of the sleeve line. I'll then pin there. So I'm lining up the raw edge of the binding with the raw edge of the sleeve.
Yeah.
This is shop bought, so it's in those sort of perfect, it's got those perfect folds. And essentially what you will do, I'm not sure it can be seen that well, can it? Because it's black. But there will be a line here, a fold line, oh you can see, and you will, once you've pinned, stitch along that fold line.
Yes.
So I'll just keep pinning.
So tell me about your work as a barrister.
Okay.
Because this intrigues me.
Oh, does it?
So did you? So did you want to be a barrister from being at school?
Yes. So when I was 14, I wanted to be a barrister.
Amazing.
And so I went to university. I studied law with English, and then I went to law school, and then I did my pupillage, as it's called, and then I started in chambers. And I was in chambers for about 15 years or so.
So our director just asked a very childish question,
Oh,
but
right.
actually it's quite intriguing. Did you have to wear one of those wigs? You know, the silvery ones.
Yes. Yes, made of horsehair. Yes, I did.
Amazing.
It was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, and you said you were in London doing that.
Mainly, I practiced quite a lot in Kent actually.
Yeah.
And all over. Essentially, we would go where the case was, and depending on where a person had been arrested, or that would sometimes determine where the hearing was.
As I was going to say to you, so in terms of being a barrister,
Sure.
So are you a defence? So you can be a prosecution or a defence barrister, can you?
Yeah, or both.
Or both. So were you both?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There are so many questions. I have so many questions.
Oh gosh.
But probably for off camera.
Maybe off camera. Yes.
Yeah. They're asking me all sorts of questions, and I'm not going to ask them.
But isn't now a good time to be buying fabric and sewing?
Exactly.
I mean,
this is what we need to do. We need to just buy fabric, sit in and
sit
sew.
in and
be
sew.
Safe and just sew.
I can't think of a better way to spend 2 weeks.
Exactly. 2 weeks. No, let's not go with the 4-month option.
No.
Let's hang on in there for the next 2 weeks. Says she with an event that has had to be postponed.
I know, you were saying.
But we have to be safe. We have to be safe.
When you've brought the binding round to where you were originally started pinning, I'd just let it hang over. I'd extend it slightly beyond your original start position by about half an inch or so.
Yes.
And then you're ready to start sewing.
Okay.
So I'm going to remove, I don't know how well you can see that, but this just frees up this area here on the machine, makes it much narrower, and it's perfect for when you're sewing something like a sleeve, which is quite narrow, and it can easily fit over. So putting the needle into that fold line or groove that I mentioned earlier, I'll put my needle down, remove the pin and start sewing, following that line the whole way round.
While you are sewing the whole way around there, we have news. We've been saying all the way that this has been really, really popular, this fabric, and it is actually now limited stock. So if you're wanting to get hold of the pink butterfly fabric, it is now limited. So I would jump on that website as soon as you can, hochanda.com, or pick up the phone and give us a call and grab hold of yours before it flies away. So lovely. It is that kind of fabric that you just want to stroke and start sewing with and play with. It's beautiful.
A little tip when you're starting with it is to use chalk. On my pocket here, this is a patch pocket that I may come to later.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see, I've used chalk to mark a line.
Yes.
And this line tells me that this is the wrong side of the fabric.
Oh, okay.
Because there's not much difference between the wrong and the right side. Once you've started cutting and you've cut away your selvage,
yes.
if I go back slightly, you can see there's writing on the selvage.
Yes.
And that writing is sort of the right way up on the right side.
So this is the right side of the fabric.
Because it reads clearly.
And then when you read it on the other side, you can see that it's backwards writing, so that's the wrong side of the fabric.
That's the wrong side. But once you started cutting, that's gone. And you will not be able to tell.
Yeah.
Some of them you may, because the wrong side will be slightly faded, slightly.
That would be very difficult to tell.
But it would be normally quite hard to tell. So I use chalk. I mark the wrong side with a chalk. Yeah. And then once I've cut away, I've still got some chalk lines that will tell me that that's the wrong side.
Well, just to say, talking about, you know, this salvage edge going, when it's gone when you cut it off. Well, the fabric is gone because it's sold out. Yay! So well done to you if you got hold of that. That has gone. We still do have the other fabric though, if you want to get hold of that, available on the website hochanda.com. Lovely. You see, I think this is probably one of the safest options in this fabric. If people are wanting to give pattern and colour a little go. And then you've still got the black background here. So I think this is actually quite a safe one for you to play with if the other colours really frighten you.
You were asking me about direction on this. So I'll hold this up in a minute so people can see an option.
Yes. It's good though that you can switch it because you might have a preference on that pattern,
You might have a preference,
Yeah.
And then make sure when you come back, you won't be able to see. So I'll finish and then I'll bring it out from under the machine. So just to say that when you, as it were, come back to the beginning, that you make sure that you line up that fold so that it meets neatly with the point where you started.
Yeah.
And then snip away your threads. Then before I carry on with that, let me just hold this up. People might want to.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hang on, there we go.
Yeah.
So that's one way.
Yes.
And this is the Priscilla top.
Yeah. It's amazing though, isn't it, how different that Priscilla top looks to mine. It's amazing. It's a totally different vibe. Yeah. I think that would be quite flattering as well, you know, as a design, because it's got that stripe that's going downwards.
Yes, very flattering, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I say, I think that's probably the safest one because that pattern's not too out there.
Sure.
Because you've got that, you know, that black in the background.
Sure.
Yeah. But I just go for it personally. I just go for the colour. Right, you've got 11 minutes left. So how are we doing?
So what you will do then is trim down this seam that's been created by the stitch line that you've just sewn. 11 minutes isn't long.
Is that not enough time?
No, it's okay.
It does go quick, doesn't it?
It does.
By the way, if you want to watch a little chat that I had with Adako, it is on me. It's on me Facebook. It's on my Facebook. Hochanda, the Rachel Pearman on Hochanda Facebook account that I have, so you can have a look there. We did a little film, didn't we, before?
Yes.
Show a little chatette. So do have a look at that if you want to.
So what I will do, I'll finish this, and then on the tunic, I will demonstrate the bust darts.
Okay.
How to sew those.
Lovely.
They're very small.
Yeah, and darts, I think, sometimes people can be worried about those, can't they?
Yes.
Do you know, it's been fantastic, though. One thing I really like here at Hochanda is that when we bring you a new guest, like our lovely Adako today, that you actually really support people and you buy. We've had some emails as well saying welcome to you, which has been lovely.
Thank you so much.
And they are loving this fabric.
Oh, good.
Which is brilliant, because like I say, it can go two ways. People can be a little bit frightened of it, or they can jump on board. But I think the fact that it's so versatile is a good thing. Another great idea as well, Sally apparently has emailed in and said that she has used this sort of fabric to cover journals with.
Yes,
now
I've done that.
That's a nice idea, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you could see that would,
it
would work.
It would, yes. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm using the other fold edge to cover the original stitch line.
Yeah.
And I will put that in place with pins.
I love it as well, Adako, how you've brought your pins that coordinate perfectly with your nail varnish. Yeah, just for the purposes of TV. She left her blue ones at home. Left the red ones that go with the nails. So it's all working.
Good. That's what we like.
And do remember, go on.
Yeah. So essentially you'd pin all the way around until you got to where you started, and then I'll just start to show that you will stitch slightly in from the edge of that original stitch line, hiding the stitch line from the other side, the wrong side, and catching the fold edge that you have folded under. So I will just sew a little bit because we're slightly short of time, and I'll finish that later.
Okay.
So I can show the bust darts.
Yes. And do remember, as we've been saying, if you would like to make this top or the skirt or the dress that Adako is wearing, you can buy just the pattern. You don't have to buy the fabric. We have got Megan, we've got the Priscilla, which is what I'm wearing, and we've got the Althea as well. Where are the names from? Why did you choose the names?
So they're all named after, because the book I've got coming out, so between the book, in the book there are 25 patterns.
Right.
Garments and accessories, all named after women I've known, women I respect, women I admire.
Yes.
So yes, some friends, some other people's.
Okay, so can I ask a question? Is Megan, is it after the Megan?
Oh, I don't know if you can ask that question.
Oh, maybe we can't affiliate it.
No, I'm not sure we can.
No, but if you were inspired by her, if you liked her, we'll just leave that hanging there, shall we? Priscilla, as in Presley?
It's also nice because people, I think, either know someone with that name. You know, someone said to me, oh, my mother was called Megan.
Yes.
Or it's just a sort of an association that people then form with the patterns, which is quite nice.
Yes, yeah. And then what's the other one?
Althea.
Is that you say Althea?
Althea.
Nice name, Althea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that where's that come from, that name, Althea? Sounds a bit Spanish.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. There've been a few Altheas. I don't know where it's from actually.
I don't know, but I'm going to send it to my friend tonight because she is heavily pregnant and they cannot come up with a name. They know they're having a little girl.
Okay.
So, and she was going through all these names and she didn't mention Althea, so I'm going to say, what about Althea?
Yeah.
It's a nice name.
That's a nice name. That's a nice name. Yeah, very much. Very much so. So just to show, this is the other sleeve, which I did earlier.
Yes.
So that's how it would look when finished. Nice, neat, bound sleeve.
Okay.
And then, if I can quickly show
Yes, you've got about 5 minutes.
the bust dart on the tunic.
Yeah.
Find the right. Yes. So the bust darts are at the front. So this is the front pattern piece where the pockets are. I'm sorry if I'm moving too quickly for the camera. A little tip about the patch pockets. Best thing is to use carbon paper. I don't know how well you can see this at all, but I have traced the pocket. You can see that, can't you, slightly?
Yes.
It's not great, sorry. I've traced the pocket outline. Here's the pocket onto the front. But when tracing, only trace the sides, the bottom and the other side, not the top.
Okay.
Because what you will find is that when you, as it were, look down, you'll be able to see that top line because you've used carbon paper.
Okay.
But if you only trace out the sides and the bottom, they will be hidden when you place your pocket on top and stitch round.
Yes.
So the darts, you will use carbon paper from the wrong side. They are in the shape of a sort of very, very long triangle, a very long and thin triangle. And they're designed just to help give shaping around the bust area. Match up the raw edges so that, if you like, you folded that triangle in half and each line is matching the other from the other side. And then use your pin to hold that in place.
Yes.
Not in that way, because it's better at right angles. But I was just trying to demonstrate as best I could. And then really important to press. Not much pressing space.
And do remember, on the patterns, all the instructions are included. You've got that wonderful coloured pattern there that you can trace and copy, and then you've got all the instructions in the little booklet, and you don't have to use these fabrics, and you have got then some just very wearable tops for you to use, and skirts and dresses. So all those are available on the website hochanda.com, and the other fabrics are all available apart from that one, which has sold out, but the other ones have been exceptionally busy as well. So thank you to everyone who has shopped with us today on the website and on the phones.
So you'll stitch from the raw edge, following your traced line towards the point. At the point, you won't backstitch. Instead, you'll pull, leave a long thread, which you'll then double knot to finish that stitch line.
Yes.
So if I show you quickly now. I'll pull away. My bobbin finished, great. Just in time.
Just in time.
So you would, oh no, not quite, too soon. Never mind.
Oh, never mind. We can,
but you would
yeah.
Knot twice from there,
yeah.
and then from the right side, you will have your dart. It reduces the area in that space in order to create shaping in the bodice.
Excellent. And I think some people are quite frightened about darts, and you've shown that it's quite easy.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, was the show easy? It was, wasn't it?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Nervous. I was nervous, wasn't I?
You were nervous,
nervous.
but you've been absolutely a joy to have on the show.
You.
And I've loved what you brought for us today. I love the fabrics. They just bring laughter and light into your life, which is what we all need at the moment. So I think they're an absolute joy to work with.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, my lovely.
Thank you for having me.
And do you know when you're back again, have they scheduled another show with you?
They haven't yet, no.
Well, they will be. They'll be waiting at that door saying, right, come on, get your diary out.
Good.
Well, thank you.
That's great.
You can, of
Lovely.
course, go shopping on the website, hochanda.com. Now we're going. But don't forget, you've got the 3 options of patterns. You've got those fabrics, amazing fabrics, and massive 5 yards of fabric as well. They are just the most astounding patterns I've ever seen. So do give it a go. Give pattern and colour a bit of a go and make yourself smile. Thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you. Thank you for your lovely emails as well. I'm going to be back in an hour's time, but don't worry, because Adam and Leonie are up next.